Okay, so Assalamu alaikum students, and I welcome you all to SM Public Academy Campus 5. And definitely today we will be having another uh, English class, and I'm your course instructor, Mrs. Haba Arif. And today we'll be having a review. Today we'll be having a review of the grammar lessons because as you guys have your okay, let me mute you all. I can hear you people. So, as you all know that we have the English language monthly test tomorrow. So I think we should have a review of the exercises or the topics that are coming to in tomorrow's language test. So let's see. Our topic for revision is verbs, verb forms, auxiliary verbs, and definitely we'll be doing the tenses as well a little bit because they are the ones that I believe you guys need the most practice in. So, can you tell me what do you remember about all of these? What are verbs? What are verb forms? What are auxiliary verbs? I think this is quite easy because definitely you have been doing these things since I think primary grade. So this must be very much clear to you people now. Yes, beta tenses and translations are also included. Hamza Mustafa, if you have seen the course or the outline for the monthly test, you must be have seen that this is also coming. I'll try to revise as quickly as possible all the topics with you people so that there is no confusion afterwards and you do your test or you attempt your test well, like the way you guys did in the literature. I was very much pleased to see your results. You have most of you have got mashallah good grades. So let's see, what do you remember about verbs, verb forms, and auxiliary verbs? What are verbs? Now, this is something you must have been told in grade 1 and 2s and 3s and so on, and you must have been doing it every year since then. What is a verb? It's very easy. What is a verb? Verbs are the action words in a sentence that describe what the subject is doing. So basically, an action word is a verb, okay? But it's not always an action verb. It can be a supporting verb as well or a helping verb as well. So any action word, yes, Maida. Any action word is a verb, and verbs are actually usually what the subject is doing or what the subject is performing. Those words are called the verbs in a sentence. And along with nouns, verbs are the main part of a sentence or phrase because definitely we need to know that what the noun is doing or what the noun has done or what the noun will be doing. So definitely to have only telling you the noun or the preposition or the conjunction in the sentence won't complete the sentence until unless I don't tell you what the subject or what the noun is doing in the sentence definitely. So or what has been done with the noun. So definitely verbs play a very major role in a sentence, and every sentence almost every sentence, I won't say each and every, but almost every sentence comprises of verbs. Okay, now the examples can be run, dance, slide, jump, think, do, eat, drink, whatever. There are thousands and thousands of verbs. Okay, I can't just list them all here, but these are just a little bit of examples for you people, those who still have any confusions with verbs. So, forms of verbs. Now, this is something a little bit tricky when we come to the forms of the verbs. Then, usually, the problem that arises is that people don't actually find the correct form of the verb. When I was going through your active and passive voice, the major problem or the major concern I had checking those exercises was that most of the time, you people are not putting the correct form of the verb. Now, I wonder if it's not clear to you or if it's not known to you because sometimes we believe that it might be the same, the past participle or the third form is the same, or maybe sometimes we think that this can be the because cutted and stuff like that, these words don't even exist, but sometimes we are just putting them without a reason. So you need to make sure that you know the correct forms of the verbs because unless you don't know the correct forms, you cannot complete your indirect, directs, actives, passives clearly. Okay, it's difficult then to complete these exercises or topics if you don't have a clear image of the verb forms. Okay, so there are three basic forms of verb. The main verbs have three basic forms: the base form, the past form, and the ed form, or sometimes called the participle form. That is what we call the past participle form. Okay, so the base form is the used as an infinitive form with to or without to. Okay, that is the main verb. It's come, do, eat, sit, drink, play. All of these are the base form of the verbs, the main verb. So the examples can be, do you want to come with us? So it can be used separately, like it's I can't leave now, but it can be used with to as well. Okay, so it can be used in both the ways, and this is the first form of the verb. And if we are using it for the present, simple present tense, that is, so it will be, I always read before I go to sleep every night. So here I have two verbs in my sentence, that is read and go, and they both are the base forms. Okay, I hope the base form is clear. And then we have the except the third person singular, which uses s. Now see, when we are talking about he, she, it, they, then we put the. Okay, so she works at the university. Now this is where we add an s. Now students, try to make sure, try to differentiate between these things, that adding an s and a es to the verb and changing the form of the verb are two different things. Okay, they are not the same. We add an s or an es to the verb when we are using the base form for a singular, third singular person. Okay, but the form, when we change it, like work will be worked. If I'm changing the form, then this works here, she works at the university, it will be changed into worked. Okay, you have to make sure you understand the difference between the two, that one is the s and the es that is added with the third person singular, and one is the ed, that or the en or whatever it is, sometimes the whole word changes, that is changed in the form. Okay, then let's come to the second one, the past form. This is used for the simple past tense or the past simple tense, what we call the past indefinite. He opened the door and went out. So now open is my base form. When I'm using the past form, it becomes opened. So I add an ed to it. Okay. Now when I'm changing the form of the verb from the base form to the past form, then what I have to make sure is that it can be changed by adding an ed, it can be changed by adding an en, it can be changed by changing the whole word, it can be changed by simply adding an n. So there are many different ways we can change it. There is no rule for changing it. Okay, that it will always be changed in a certain way. No, you need to know these, you need to learn these actually. Okay, so he opened the door and went out. Now see, go changes into went. So this is a complete change of the word. Okay, go, went, gone. So the first and the third forms do have a similarity, that go and gone, but the second word, that is the past form, is went. So go and went are entirely different words. They are not connected to each other. But that is the second form of go. Okay, so you need to learn them. And the third form is the participle form, which is used after auxiliary have and be. Okay, I have always wanted a piano and was given one last week. So see, now as I told you, the auxiliary verb can come just right before the verb in a sentence, or it can come in the beginning or in the 2 3 words before as well. Okay, it's not always must, it's not compulsory that the auxiliary verb will always come before, right before the verb. It can take any other position in the sentence as well, but you need to know your auxiliaries. Okay, so I have, now my have, that is in pink color here, is my auxiliary verb. Okay, always wanted, that is the third form, the participle form of the verb wanted. Now for want, it's wanted and wanted, same for the second and the third forms. And was given one last week. Now my was, that is be, changes into was, that is my auxiliary verb in the pink, and that is right before the verb here. Given, now give, gave, given. Now these are three entirely different forms of the verb, and that's the way they change from the base, that is give, then it becomes gave in the past, and it becomes given in the participle form. Okay, so I have always wanted a piano and was given one last week. So I think the forms of the verbs are now clear to you people. So just let's have a look at a chart. This is the first form, this is the second, this is the third. Again, this is the first in yellow, the second and the third. Okay, so now see, be can change to was or were, and was for he was, she was, were for it, oh they were. Okay, so you know how when you have to use these forms. And the third form becomes been. So these are entirely different now. Beat, beaten. Become, became, become. Now see, the first and the third form are the same. Begin, began, begun. So now it's the changes of in, an, and un here. Okay, come, came, come. Cost, cost, cost. Now see, there are certain words, cut, cut, cut. Now cost, cut, they remain the same. Okay, they don't change. dig, dug, dug. Now for the second and the third form, this word remains the same. So as I told you, you need to learn these words, okay? Don't just believe that we can change them by ourselves, because the common terms, you need to learn them. It's very easy. Just go through them once and twice and you will know your forms of the verb. They are not that difficult, okay? Sometimes they don't change at all, that all the three forms are the same. Sometimes they change. And how do they change? Sometimes the second and the third form remains the same. Sometimes the first, second, third, all three are entirely different, okay? Like you can see here, ride, rode, ridden. In the R, see here, ride, rode, ridden. Ring, rang, rung. Again, see, like drink, drank, drunk, it's ring, rang, rung. Rise, rose, risen. Run, ran, run. Now say is always said and said, and so similarly you can just look at them, okay? Now forget becomes forgot, forgotten. This is a very common mistake that you people make, so make sure you know these. Let's have a look at another chart. Let's look at some more examples. You can go through these words if you want to know some, like if there is any word that you are conscious about, or if you think that you don't know the second and the third form. That is why I put down almost all the common verbs. I tried to put down all the common words. If it's still there any word that is missing, you can always search the internet for that, no issue. But you need to know that what are the three forms, and just go through them once. Go through it, have a look, because I don't want you people to make mistakes tomorrow, or not tomorrow, in the future. I'm giving you just a minute. Go through these words, see what are the three forms. If there is anything that is still unclear, let me know, because definitely you need to know this. I hope it's clear. Can we move on? Let me know if we can move on, children. Have you gone through these? Okay, Faliha.
क्या बोल रही है?
Okay, thank you.
क्या बोल रही है आप?
Students, you
समझ
have,
में नहीं आ रहा.
better you have joined the class late, that's why you cannot understand. Go through these words once, because I want you to know the three forms of the verb, okay? Just go through these ones so that we can move on. Now if you join later class, then definitely you miss the beginning. I cannot continue working with you. And please turn
Okay.
on. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so auxiliary verbs. An auxiliary verb, or a helping verb as it's so called, is used with the main verb to help express the main verb's tense, mood, or voice. Okay, so basically auxiliary verbs are the supporting verbs, are the helping verbs, and they usually don't come alone. They are always with the main verb, or the main expressing idea verb, and then they help the main verb in expressing the tense, or the mood, or the voice. Okay, so the main auxiliary verbs are to be, to have, and to do. They appear in the following forms. Now to be, it can appear as am, is, are, was, were, being, been, and will be. Okay. Now to have, it can appear as has, have, like in the last sentence, I have always wanted a piano. So have remains have. But if it was she has been running fast, so then again has as my auxiliary verb there. Had, having, will have, and do changes into does, do, did, or will do. Okay, so there can be the present, the past, and the future forms, and this is the way we will be changing these auxiliary verbs every time as per our need. Okay, the way we need it, we will change it accordingly. So let's have a look at this chart. Now auxiliary verb be, have, do, as I told you, they have they change into these certain words. Now be will always not be used as be. It can be used as am, is, are, was. Wherever you see these words with the help with the main verb, you should know that it's an auxiliary verb. Okay. And if I ask you to put an auxiliary verb, then make sure that these are the auxiliary verbs that you need to put. Okay. You cannot put any other word. That's a different thing. Okay. So help to express tense, mood, or voice in like in the tenses how they support. He had eaten the whole pie. So now eaten is my main verb in the sentence, and had, by adding a had, I changed the tense into past perfect tense here. See, so he had eaten. Now my had is the auxiliary verb that is helping me change the tense. If I put he ate the whole pie, then that will be simple past. So if I put had eaten, now this becomes my past perfect tense. So this is helping me here to change the tense. Similarly, he was snoring all night. Now this is my past progressive tense. With adding a was, what am I doing? I'm changing my tense to past progressive, or the past continuous tense. Progressive is continuous tense. Okay, for those who don't know. Then how I use it in my mood. Did it go well? Now this is the interrogative mode, that if I want to ask a question, I can put a did, and this is the way my auxiliary will help me in a sentence. Do try our tarts. That is the imperative mode, that where you're giving an instruction or where you are giving a suggestion or an advice. That do. So do is my auxiliary here. Okay, in the voice, the pie was eaten by the dog. Again, this is what we have been doing for the last whole month, that when you are changing the voice from active to passive, you always put an auxiliary verb. That's a must. Without an auxiliary verb, the voice cannot be changed from active to passive. Okay, so you need to make sure you know these. So just go through it once. Any question, any query that you have, let me know. Otherwise, I'll move forward. That how the auxiliary verb is helping me in changing the tenses, is changing the mood, and in changing the voices. Okay. And these are the common auxiliary verbs used. Okay. Okay, so model auxiliaries. Now this is a little bit tricky because model auxiliaries are actually a little bit different from the normal auxiliaries. Now let's look at the model auxiliary verbs. Model auxiliary verbs combine with other verbs to express ideas such as necessity, possibility, intention, and ability. Okay, so if I am using a model auxiliary verb, then actually it is going to show the necessity, that if something is necessary, then I can put a must, or like make sure. Then if it's a possibility, then might, would, these are going to be there. Then if it is an intention, then it's going to be can, could. And if it's an ability, then I might be able to do this. Okay, so these are the different ways I can use I can use model auxiliaries. Now look at the sentences. It is during our darkest moments that we must focus to see the light. Now, it's actually a saying kind of a word, that during the darkest moment we must focus. So this is actually the necessity, that we must remain focused. So this is actually giving the necessity part of the model auxiliary. Okay. Then the second one, if there are no bad people, there would be no good lawyers. So definitely for the bad people, we need good lawyers. So this is the again the necessity or the possibility, that there would be no good lawyers, because this is a possibility. Like if this thing would be there, then this thing would be there. If this thing doesn't exist, then the next thing won't be existing as well. So this is the need. If there are more sick people, then we will be needing more doctors. It is like that. Okay, so if there are no bad people, there would be no good lawyers. Now look at the third one. It shall heal our wounds. So this is the possibility again, that it shall. We are believing that it might happen. It shall happen. It shall heal our wounds. Now heal is my verb here, and my model auxiliary is shall. If you could dream it, you can do it. So now can is like again the intention, that if you can dream, can is showing the intention here, that if you have the power to have a dream, then you can do it. So if you can dream it, you can do it. I might have a problem in this question, or that is the possibility or ability, that okay, I might have a problem. That is, I'm not sure, but I might have a problem. Okay, there's a possibility there is, that I might have a problem. Is it clear, the model auxiliaries? Okay, let's move on. Okay, now let's revise the tenses. Now these are very important. This is like my main concern today for this class, is that you guys should know the tenses, because auxiliaries you can put by default as well, that okay, maybe it is this, but for the present, past, future, you cannot change the forms until unless you don't know the rules. So please make sure you know what you are doing. Okay. So let's have a look at this chart. The simple, the content. First of all, what are the types? The simple, the continuous, the perfect, and the perfect. Continuous. Okay, this continuous tense is also called the progressive tense for those who don't know, and the simple one is also called the indefinite tense. Okay, please make sure this thing. I have seen the students making this mistake that when I write indefinite or when I write simple, they get confused that these are two different things. No, the simple present or the simple past or the simple future is the same as the present indefinite, past indefinite, and future indefinite. So please don't get confused. It's the same word. Similarly, if I'm saying change into present continuous, past continuous, or future continuous, I can also say that change into present progressive, past progressive, or future progressive. They are the same. They are the different names for the same type of the tense. Okay. So basically, there are 12 different forms of tenses, as you all know. What are they? Simple, continuous, present, and perfect and perfect continuous. So for the simple present tense, look here, what is the main structure? We put the verb with the S and M is R, okay? That is the first form of the verb with then is M R, okay? Then, well, let's go through the present tenses first, then we'll go through the past and then through the future, okay? And a continuous tense, again, it's am, is, or are with the verb and an ing. The ing is a clear indication that you are having a continuous tense, okay? Continuous tense is very very clearly, you can find it out if there's an ing, okay? But it gets tricky when you confuse it with the perfect continuous. Then the perfect tense is very clear when you have the has or the have and the third form of the verb, okay? He has done his work. So has is my uh, again helping verb, and the third form is done, do, did, done. So this is the third form. Then the perfect tense has, have, and there's a been always with the verb and an ing. So the differentiation between continuous perfect continuous is that it does not have has, have, had, and it does not have an is MR. Okay, this is the common difference between them. And then there is no been here, there is a been here. The been always shows that it is a perfect continuous tense. Okay, and even if you are changing, then make sure you put the been with the verb within ing if it's a perfect continuous. Okay, now let's move to the past tense. The past tense, the second form is used, that is he did his work, she ate the cake. If it said she eats the cake, she ate the cake. Okay, then in the continuous, it's always was or were with the verb and then ing is added to the verb. Again, it's very simple. He was doing his work. They were playing in the garden. So again, ing is added in a continuous, past continuous tense. Then we have the past perfect, that is had with the third form of the verb. Now the only difference between present and past is the has, have, and the had. Okay, so make sure you put the correct form. I have seen you people making this mistakes again and again. You put has and have in the past perfect. No, a past perfect always has had. A had is always used in it. Okay, and the third form of the verb again. And when you're changing it into perfect continuous, then had been with the verb and the ing. Okay, the been and the had with the ing always comes in a perfect continuous tense. Please make sure. Then when we come to the future form of the verb, then simple, it will be will and the verb. I will do this. This is the first form of the verb always used. Okay, I will eat a pizza. I will go to the market. So it's always the simple future tense. Coming to the continuous, will be. Now here we use the helping verb and then we have the ing. Okay, I will be going to the market. I will be eating a pizza. Okay, then we have the future perfect, that is will have, or the third form of the word. So again, make sure you don't put will had. Will had is no form. Okay, please, no forms with will had. It's always will have. She will have done her work. She will have gone to the market. Okay, so it's always will and have with the third form of the verb for the future perfect tense. Coming to the last, future perfect continuous, make sure you put will have been with the verb and the ing. Okay, Will have. Make sure it's always will have. It can't be will has or will had. It's always will have. Been again and verb with the ing. So I hope it's clear. Let's have a look at some examples here. Now you can go through these examples. I'm reading them out. Follow me please. In the past, we have now here we are beginning from the past, the present, and the future. Okay, like the way they exist. Past has happened, present is existing, and future will happen. Okay, so simple past, I ate pizza yesterday. Now it's the subject, that is I, plus the second form of the verb plus the object, that is pizza. Okay, I ate pizza yesterday. Now in the continuous, I was eating pizza when you arrived. Now I am the subject. Was and were are my helping verbs. Eating, verb with the first form of the first form of the verb with an ing, and my object remains pizza, same. Now the past perfect tense, I had eaten all the pizza when you arrived. So now again the subject is the same I, and had eaten, that is had with the third form of the verb. And then we use the object, okay, that is the same. Perfect continuous, I had been eating pizza for 2 hours when you arrived. So again, had been is added and the first form of the verb with the ing is added and the object remains the same. Now the present simple present or the present indefinite, I eat pizza every day. So my subject is I, first form of the verb is eat, and then the pizza is the same. In the present continuous tense, I am eating pizza right now. So I am is my auxiliary verb, again the helping verb. Eating, first form of the verb with an ing, object is pizza, that would not change. Present perfect tense, I have eaten all the pizza. Now again, I and has and have are my auxiliaries, and the third form of the verb is used with the object. Okay. Present perfect continuous, I have been eating pizza for 2 hours. That means I is my subject, have been are my auxiliaries. Eating, first form of the verb with the ing. Now see here in the perfect only I have changed into the third form. Here I am putting the first form with the ing. Okay, continuous always has the first form with the ing. Make sure this thing, don't put the third or the second form when it's a continuous tense. Okay. Then coming to the future, simple future or future indefinite, I will eat pizza tomorrow. That is, I will is showing my future tense. Eat is my first form of the word. I will be eating pizza when you arrive. Will be is my auxiliary. Eating, again the first form of the verb with the ing and the object. Okay. Present, future perfect tense, I will have eaten all the pizza by the time you arrive. So I and will have is my auxiliary. Eaten. Now see again in the perfect tense, always put the third form of the verb, whether it is past, present, or future. Always the third form of the verb is used. Okay. Eaten all the pizza by the time you arrive. I will have been eating pizza for 2 hours when you arrive. So again, I is my subject, will have been are the auxiliaries. Eating, that is the first form of the verb with the ing, and pizza is my object. And then again, because we mentioned time in these perfect continuous tenses, so again see I have always mentioned time here. So go through the chart once. I'm giving you a minute and then we'll move on. Any questions so far, let me know, because I'll be winding up the topic now. So please, if there is any question, let me know. Is everything clear, students? I hope it's all clear. I was just giving you, I just wanted to actually give you a revision class, because definitely some topics you have done in June, some in July. So giving an empty is not that easy after you and you have done something so long before. So I just wanted to make sure you people know. Okay, so let's move on, students. So let's try these. Now fill in the blank with the correct auxiliary verb from the choices presented. Okay. So I'm giving you three choices in each sentence, and I want you people to tell me what is the correct form, or what is going to come here, which auxiliary is going to come. So the first one, what dash the kids are doing when you saw them the last time? Now what is this? Can you tell me? Oh, sorry, when you saw them. I couldn't see it. What dash the kids doing when you last saw them? Can you answer me? Is it going to be what was the kids doing? See, now kids is a plural. So is it going to be was, were, or are? What is going to come here? Yes. Faleha, can you tell me? Okay, Faleha already told me. Thank you, Faleha, for your answer. This shows that you're present in the class. Thank you, dear. Tabassum Fatma also told me the answer. Thank you, children. So thank you, Mariam Faida. Okay, so what were the kids doing? Definitely because it's kids. My kids will tell me definitely that because it's a plural word, so I'll put a were. I cannot put was. See, students, when you're putting the auxiliaries, make sure you say the sentence once. Try to say it with all three words. Like, see, what was the kids doing when I know? What was doesn't sound good. What were the kids doing? Yes, that sounds. What are the kids doing when you saw them last? No, definitely it's saw. So are cannot come here. Okay, so make sure you put the auxiliaries sensibly. Okay, Tabassum Fatma, can you tell me the second one? Clara Dash always wanted to try skydiving. Clara was wanted, always wanted. Clara doesn't always wanted. Yeah, Clara has always wanted. Yes, Tabassum, thank you. Clara has always wanted. Or Carla, I think it's, yeah, Carla has always wanted. Okay. Okay, so Laiba Najib, can you tell me the third one? Where dash you go on your summer vacation? Where dash you go on your summer vacation? Where dash you go on your summer vacation? Where were you go? Where did you go? Or where does you go? Yes, where did you go? The boys are also up now. Where did? Thank you, Laiba. Okay, so Anas Ahmad, can you tell me the last one? Mary dash going to be upset when she hears what happened. Mary will going to be upset. Mary don't going to be upset, or Mary is going to be upset. Yes, Anas, can you tell me the answer, beta? Is very good. Mary is going to be upset. So I hope the auxiliaries are clear to you people. So let's move on, children. Okay. So now let's do the duet directed, a little bit of the tenses now, and then we'll be inshallah winding up the class. She did not know anything. Now you have to change this into simple present tense. That is the present indefinite tense. Okay, Maida, can you do this one for me, please? She did not know anything. First of all, catch the verb here. What is the verb? Because definitely the verb will change when you change it into simple present. She did not know anything. How will we change it, Maida? She does not know anything. Thank you, dear. Thanks a lot. This is the correct answer. She does not know anything. Okay. Okay. So, Ariba, are you there? I'm not getting answers from you, Ariba. Can you do the second one for me, please? Aslam works at a bank. Can you tell me the second one, please? Yes, Ariba, are you there? Can you tell me the second answer? Okay, Ariba. Aslam works at a bank. Can you do this one for me, please? You have to change it into simple past tense. This is the easiest one with it. Aslam works at a bank. How will we change this? Can you tell me? Aslam worked at a bank. Very good. Aslam worked at a bank. That is my works changes into work. Now see, it's the first form of the verb. This is the base form work, but I put an S because Aslam is a third person singular. Okay, so I'll put a S here. But S is not making it the past form. It is only added because this is the third person singular. If I have to change the form, I'll put an ED. Aslam worked at the bank. Okay, so the third one. Now let's have Mariam. Can you tell me the third one? My sister is living abroad. Change it into future continuous tense. My sister is living abroad. First of all, try to recognize which tense the sentence is in right now. Okay. What tense is it? It is in the first form. My sister is living. That is, this is present continuous form. So you have to change it from the present continuous to the future continuous. Okay. So Mariam, can you tell me my sister is living abroad? Are you there, Mariam? Okay, Mariam, I want the answer, beta. Yes, you are there. Okay, I can see you in the chat box, but kindly answer my sister. Or if you don't know, just try. This is definitely we are doing a revision here. My sister is living abroad. Now I have to change it into future. So first of all, when there is a future, there is a will. So you have written above. I did not see beta. Where did you give me the answer? Because the chat box goes too fast. My sister will be living abroad. Okay, Mariam, thank you. I missed your answer. Okay, my sister will be living abroad. So the is changes into will be living abroad. Okay, this becomes future. Now the fourth one. Okay, Hamza, can you answer? He is riding a horse. You have to change it into the past continuous. Now, first of all, what tense is this right now? This is present continuous. So you have to change it into past continuous. He is riding a horse. Hamza, can you answer me, please? He is riding a horse. He was riding a horse. Okay, that is correct. Now, the fifth one. Now, that's a little bit tricky. So, can I have Faleha? Can you answer me? He has just returned. Now, you have to change it into future perfect tense. He has just returned. He has just returned. He has just returned. Yes, he will have just returned. That is correct. Okay. Okay, the sixth one. I always wanted to be a scientist. Change into present perfect tense. I always wanted to be a scientist. So, can I have your answers now? I've asked almost all of you, so you all can answer me. I always wanted to be a scientist. I always wanted to be a scientist. Change it into present continuous perfect tense. I have been wanted to be a scientist. No. Where is the have? Yes. I have always wanted to be a scientist. Okay. This is the way you will change the sixth one. I have always wanted to be a scientist. See, this is a little tricky one. The present perfect tense, I have always wanted. And the last one, we waited for 2 hours. Now this is present perfect continuous. Again, for continuous, wait would, you can like close your eyes and change it into waiting. Okay. We have been waiting for 2 hours. Okay. Okay, that's right. Thank you, all of you. I hope that today's class will help you in tomorrow's MT, and make sure it's a Saturday, but you may attempt your MTs because that is a necessary. Okay. So thank you, children. Thanks a lot. I hope you have understood whatever have been explained. Keep revising and practicing for tests. Take care of yourselves. Allah Hafiz.